Scruffy Audio Network.
Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it's been a year that I'm sitting down with Dr. James Choo. Basically, a year ago, you were my first guest on my first ever podcast show.
It's been a year. And you've done like, what, 40 of these?
44, 2 haven't been released yet.
Dang.
Yeah.
You've been getting after it.
Well, I know we've taken a break for a minute. The last 3 weeks to just gather our thoughts and get some more data on all the guys that are doing this Lost Generation, the final series of the Part 6 generation. So we're probably going to throw a whole buffet of stuff today.
Yeah.
And then after that, I would love for Dr. James Choo to be a part of the show ongoing, once a month. And I think we'll just discuss a whole bunch of things that you and I discuss in here. And let the audience listen to what we always have to say to each other on Sundays at 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Or when,
Yeah, I'm honored, and I'd love to do it. So this has been a lot of fun for me.
I mean, he's a natural. He's really, really good at it. And Ben, thanks for coming on short notice today.
Thank you, guys.
We were going off,
It's 2 days before Christmas.
Our celebrity doctor, James Choo, it's like, if he could go, we go. I mean, I'm here 7 days a week. And
I know where to find you.
I appreciate it a lot today. I know it's Monday, a couple days before Christmas. And I just wanted to get all the things that we were talking about. And I made some great notes. But
awesome.
Catching up with everybody, the sticking patterns, negotiations, where everybody is, why people get stuck, what stuck looks like.
Yeah.
Because everybody was enthused and hyped up and started dropping some weight. And I think everybody, as the word that we don't like to say, is plateaued, but not plateaued.
Yeah.
And
I think they just lost steam.
Lost steam?
Yeah. I think we've been talking about that, and so much of this comes from the observations that we make when you are talking to your clients, and just the general patterns that we've been seeing throughout this entire little journey. And so let's get an update on a couple of the guys, or a few of them. Well,
the granddaddy of them all that I'm looking forward to a long process with, as we talked about with one of the other podcast guys that we listened to, had one of the best guys that I admire. His name would be
Art.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in it for the long haul. And he's getting close to 70 pounds of weight loss.
Man. So Art started at what, 447?
Yeah.
I think he sent me a picture of his last weight.
381.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And he's going to be able to do more. He does more when he's not with me, but we call it 2 check-ins a week, but the 2 check-ins are workouts. Mm-hmm. And what he does is he usually works out 5:45 to 6:30, and now we're in the winter months and it's cold, and he's a savage. He goes from here to the track and walks.
I think you actually texted me a picture of him in the dark.
Yeah,
while he was walking on the track,
right,
in the high school nearby.
Mm-hmm.
After his workout here,
he's
taking this whole do more to heart. Really, hasn't he?
Yeah, do more. He's doing his smoothies, his salads, his chickens, and he's staying on it. And like you said, the community of getting in here, you use that word, and I think it's a great word of keeping everybody accountable.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
how's he feel? I mean, when you talk to him, is he feeling encouraged? Is he feeling?
It's the one thing that we saw from everybody is everybody's a little bit happier. And especially a guy like Art, because he's still going to make super pushes.
Yeah.
And then you have the docs, Les and Steve. I wouldn't say plateaued, but stuck. Mm-hmm. But that's okay to be stuck for a minute, because we talk about the 5 parameters of losing weight and what that looks like. And I have notes written down here, and the progress would be weight, belt size, pants, measurables, and performance. Mm-hmm. And I think you have to have that data.
Okay.
And I think sometimes, I mean, the guys, you could tell the shirt size, the pant size, the belt size is moving more than their weight right now.
Okay. Oh. Do you think part of this then is they're losing the fat, but they're still strong, so there's muscle underneath that, and that's. Do you think that's part of it?
Yeah, because we're still weight training. You know, they're not going to look like a bodybuilder. You just cause you weight train. That's like I can't drive a car because I don't want to be a NASCAR driver.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're going to hit the weights, but you got to be in good shape. So it's just not dropping. I mean, even Big Art is still lifting weights. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being strong is the motto that we used for, 30 years.
Right.
So that's not going to go away. So it's probably going to be a little bit harder, but you're probably losing fat, but the body weight's just not dropping because we're still wanting to sustain muscle, for fat burning purposes. Okay. So that's not just, hey, let's cut our calories down and just do cardio and break down muscle and not be what we call fit.
So primarily they're still moving weight in the gym. Some of them are doing a kind of a combination though. Like Art is not only lifting a certain number of times during the week, but he's also getting his walks in and all that. So it's some of these guys are doing a little bit of both. Is that right?
Yeah, and we're getting to those stuck patterns to where the calorie deficit is working, but now that's stuck. So what do you do after this calorie shift? Okay, well, you could do another one. You could, if you're doing a 2,500 calorie diet, try 2,200 calorie diet. So you could do that. Your body is going to try to stay where it is at, and we came up with that word called what? Homeostasis.
All right.
Yeah. Hello, somebody went to school, Ben. Whoa, pay attention, Ben. Homeostasis.
Like you said one more time.
Homeostasis. Okay. All right. So that means that your body, I work with so many athletes on the other end that are trying to put weight on. And they say, I'm not hungry. I am a nerd. I do not want to eat. So I'm not hungry. Okay. That's a pattern trying to put weight on. Then you have hunger where you want to eat, but you don't want to eat because you can't eat. Because hunger is not a bad thing. That you're not starving, where people say they're starving.
Right.
You're just hungry, or I'm full, I can't eat anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So your body stays to stay the same. It really fights to change. And that's called homeostasis.
So you see that on both ends of the spectrum when you got a performance athlete that wants to be 15 pounds stronger or 15 pounds more muscle, right? But they just are stuck because they have to kind of push through eating wise, right? Almost like they got to treat it like you're working out. That they got to push through this wall where their body is telling them, "Hey, let's not eat anymore. I'm done. I'm full. I'm totally satiated." And then you got to push through that barrier, right? And then you adapt to a new normal. Is that what happens? And then on the other side of that is what we're kind of dealing with our guys that need to lose weight. Is that maybe they've gotten to a certain point, but is there a kind of a drive for hunger that says, "Hey, let's not sustain this loss. Let's get back to where we were." And so your body is giving you signals. "Hey, I'm hungry. Eat more. Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's eat." So that's interesting. So it kind of works both ways from what you've seen, right?
Well, I mean, and 29 years in the business, 7 days a week. When they come back in the office after they weigh in, I hear both sides. Both sides. Just not like, I can't put weight on. Yeah. Oh, I'm trying. I can't. Well, you've got to eat more.
Yeah.
You've got to fight through that. And then the opposite side is when they're like, I'm not losing any more weight.
I'm so damn hungry.
You got to fight that hunger,
yeah.
And take a walk or eat a fibrous apple, or you got to do something to fight that.
How long does it take for a person to, if they've had these hunger spells, how long does it take for that kind of to settle down a little bit? If you stick with it and you get to a new push point.
Well, the word, I was driving today back here to shoot the show with you, and I thought about the word that nobody uses anymore is willpower.
Yeah.
You never hear willpower anymore.
Right.
Or the discipline of what willpower is, of I have to have some willpower. Well, I think now in 2019, going into 2020, everybody just gives into their pleasures. You know, and
Right.
nutritionists are like, don't fight it, because if you do, you'll eat the whole cake. And, you know, you go ahead and eat some instead of going, no, I'm not going to eat that. I'm going to stay on my hunger phase. You know, oh, your body can't be hungry. You know, you go into catabolism, you feed off your muscle. Not when you're, 30% fat.
Okay.
So those are things. Now, mind you, we're not talking about performance-based athletes.
You're talking about weight loss.
We're talking about weight loss.
For someone who's overweight.
Right. We're not talking about the goals of, running a 4-minute mile or doing a marathon and going, hey, I need to starve my body.
So does that improve over time, do you think?
That what's improved?
That hunger. If you get, say like you're,
Yes.
like some of these guys that are 185 and they can't get down to that below 180 mark because they're just always hungry.
Right.
Do you get to a point where all right, now I've made this new weight, I'm 177, I'm hungry all the time. How long does that last? From what you've seen, do you know?
I find with the guys I'm even working with now is I'm not as hungry as I used to be. I can't eat as much as I used to be. So the next stage for 2020 is, all right, let's cut it a little bit more.
It take a few weeks of that,
Yeah,
you think?
I would say about a few weeks of fighting through that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, and so now we've got a couple guys that have done really well. You kind of see them settling into their new weights without a big push, right? So you and I have talked about this.
The push.
But a different word that you've been using is this word negotiating.
Negotiating.
Right?
Yes.
So that's something that you came up with. Explain that to the people.
It could be two ways. The big push in negotiations is you have to have a plan of attack, and you have to negotiate, especially through the holiday seasons. So the negotiation, it works both ways. Is the person negotiating with themselves of like, hey, I'm doing really well, I'm doing really good, and it's up to us, both you and I, to go, but you could do better.
Okay.
That's a negotiation principle one of let's not listen to what you have to say.
Right.
You keep me on track on these podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, if I was by myself, I'd be like, man, I do really good with these podcasts. But you are going, hey, you could do better. Let's keep you back. It's the same thing with negotiation with the docs are like, hey, this is where my weight is. I'm at 184.6. That's where I am. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You could definitely do another 10 pounds.
Yeah.
So they're negotiating of their weight.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, it seems like they've said to themselves, like, I was never going to see this weight before. I was 200 plus, two teens, and now I'm in my 190s, and it's good enough. I can lay back a little bit. I don't really, I never imagined at my age that I could ever be at this weight again. And, maybe that's good. Maybe I'm okay. Maybe this is, where I should be, period, the end. And this is when you check them. You say like, look, man, you've done well, but you need to do more. Right.
And mind you, this is weight loss. This is for weight loss. Yeah. Whether you're 38, which I have tons of guys like that, or you're in your 40s, in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. This is weight loss. This isn't what Pavel from Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Pavel Tsatsouline.
Yeah. I mean, he's talking about strength performance, a long process. It's slow. It's gains are not going to be huge, but they're going to be a long journey again. That's amazing.
That's a totally different conversation.
Totally.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying
that's from Pavel is, if anyone has not heard about him, he is a Russian strength guru, I would say, that has been around the game for probably as long as you have. But he's well known for his general insight on strength, but also kettlebells. He was a guy that really preached the kettlebells. I think you read about his work in an obscure journal and knew all about him for years. But this is someone who is more than just a strength enthusiast. He's like a strength that's probably his world, right? Just everything strength, performance, and strength. This is that. I don't think Pavel's really concerned or really talking a lot about
how
do you shed that's. How do I go from 33% to a healthier?
That's 15%. Not even the guru. You talk about a guy that stays in his lane. He's when the guy's asking about nutrition, he's like, "That's not my forte."
Yeah, right. When we were,
that's not my forte. But he believes in strength, and he thinks we lost strength with so many gimmicks out there of so many different things. We lost the bad boy of strength, and strength doesn't mean 300 pounds. Strength is look at what I'm looking across the table, Dr. James.
And actually, he was talking about how he hates the word fitness. Remember that? And he hated the word fitness because he's like, whatever happened to this world of strength?
Right.
Just being everybody just being strong again.
Right.
As the core foundation principle. I think that was one of the things that I remember hearing. I was like, man, that sounds a lot like Charlie, especially the really keeping strength as the basis for health. That he did say something to that effect. I think he quoted, I can't remember who he quoted, but like to be healthy is to be strong. He was quoting someone else, but I just always remember that was one of the things that you've always preached over here is that strength is like, you just got, everyone's got to be stronger as an athlete and whatnot. But that was not specifically talking exactly like what we're talking about today, which is shedding weight and people being stuck at a particular weight, though, right? I mean, we're talking about some things that are a little bit different because I think what we've seen here is that the gentlemen that we're talking about aren't really concerned about strength per se. It's just being a little bit fitter than where they are, but it's about, for them, it seems to be more of an issue of mentality than it is strength, performance, or anything like that, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and we're talking about, when we're talking about negotiations or plan of strategy, we're talking about how they don't. The guys made their big pushes, but they're really not looking at, like, you really got to plan and negotiate before you go out. Like say I go out with you and, hey, Chaz, let's go out and grab a meal, do this. Okay, what are we doing before that meal?
Yeah.
Okay, every time I meet these guys out, the doctors to eat the last couple months, the holidays, right? Well, I'm the last one to get off work, so they're at the bar. So what are they doing at the bar?
Yeah, having a couple drinks.
Before they're waiting to eat. So when they eat, what's the first thing you order?
Oh, appetizer.
Another drink.
Another drink, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have the salad. That's not the appetizers. And I've witnessed this. Then you have the salad before your meal. Then you have your meal. Mm-hmm. Then what do they have with the dessert?
Yeah.
After dinner drink.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And this usually starts about 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. So the plan of strategy is, okay, what am I going to do before? Am I going to show up like I do so I'm not sitting at the bar with them? Having their drinks, okay? And then you have your drink, whatever it is, you make sure that you sip on it. Then you do more talking than drink. So you have to go through the whole thing.
Right.
And then go, okay, what did I do today to deserve this big outing? So you have to plan the day of low caloric intake. Okay, so you could stay on course, but if you eat the same breakfast, the same lunch,
right,
snacking a little, because what's happening through the holidays is everybody's bringing their goods into all these doctors' office and all the businesses, whatever it is, and everybody's snacking. Then you're going out to eat.
Yeah.
So you have to plan that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think you're really talking about, I think you were going to use the word, you said the word strategy, and as you were talking, I'm thinking, how do you strategize your day when you know that these big calorie events are coming? And and you laid it out nicely there where you say, well, I come in a little late, so I'm not tempted to have that drink. And then you put some wood on the fire prior, right? So you've actually done some more workout, or you've just decreased the amount of calories that you've had prior to that. And also, oftentimes too, don't you also, for some people, they get after it after the meal. So maybe you had a big lunch, and then afterwards you've said, okay, now it's time for my walk. Because I know that I just killed, 500, 600 more calories than I usually do. So that's how you're balancing it all out, is calories in, calories out, and how much activity you've had during the day, because you know that at some point in time, it's inevitable that we're going to have these holiday meals and all the good stuff, and we're supposed to have this stuff. This is what this time of year is for. But you got to make that negotiation. You got to come up with those sensible strategies in order to make the lifestyle work, because every year there's going to be a holiday, right? Every time there's going to always be an event, an excuse, or whatever it is, in order for you to easily fall off the wagon, right?
Yeah, and you made a good point, and I addressed that to you a couple of weeks ago. I was listening to another 8 billion podcast I listened to, and the nutritionist was on there, and she made a great point of eating your cheat meal, then go training.
Oh, yeah?
Not the opposite way. It makes sense, because on the turkey days, on Thanksgiving days, I have a lot of athletes in town. Even Christmas days, athletes are in town. We might eat our big meal and then still come in and train after.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. And
or sometimes you have your event, have your big meal, and then train again afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
So it's a 2-a-day on a turkey day. We have the big turkey ride, right?
Yeah.
And you feel good when you train like that, because what she was saying is you have all your carbs, you have all your high glycemic, your low glycemic carbohydrates. You watch your muscles fill up. You feel really good. You have a lot of energy. It's one of your best workouts ever, if you really think about it.
Wow. Yeah. I never really thought about reversing it.
Reversing.
Yeah.
Because what we do is we train and go, I can't wait for my cheat meal because I just got through training. Well, you trained on, a cup of nothing and a bowl of air.
Wow.
Yeah. So it makes sense. And I know you always feel better with, a good carbs that you haven't had before, because you're watching them, and, fat's going to make you fat, just like a blueberry is going to make you blue. That doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's, feed it up and then see how you feel after a good heavy meal, and then go train.
Wow. Yeah. I never thought about that at all. So end of the year though, right? And inevitably, I think people start thinking about start of the new year, right? As far as the, resolutions and all that kind of stuff. But you and I are not really that big on spelling out these resolutions. Oh, I'm turning around this year and all that. And because what we're talking about is a constant burn of continued work, negotiating through these holiday seasons, negotiating with where you are at the moment of your journey to weight loss. I mean, it's just constant, right? There's no resolution. You've got to be in it throughout the year. It's just to me, the end of the year and beginning of a new one, it's the same thing. It's not, there's just a number to me. I mean, it doesn't really, you shouldn't change because of, take it up 4 extra gears because it's just the start of the New Year's. It should just be the continuation momentum of your lifestyle that you've created all year long. My thoughts.
Yeah, and I think all the guys that are on this Lost Generation series kick are going into the new year with a new body and a new understanding and a new approach of how to take it to another level. Mm-hmm. And that's like resetting, setting new goals, and seeing where you want to come out. We talk about the big push, what to do after you make your first big weight drop. Yeah.
How do you get these guys to really rethink this? Hey, I'm okay. My negotiation is that this is where I should be. Never thought I would be this way. What's the next push to get them say, hey, look, it's a good start, but really need to be this 10 pounds lighter. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, we've had a good process the last 3 weeks, even you and I, because you could tell we were the group, the tribe, the community was fired up.
Yeah.
And then it settled.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we came with fitness influencers, and we did all these shows, and I listened to them all the last couple of weeks to prepare for part 6. And I think at one point, and you and I had to go through these emotions, and we were in here and we were like, how's everybody doing? I'm like, well, they're slipping, and this one's 2-3 pounds up, and this and that, and this and that. And for a minute, I think we both became David Goggins. It's like, screw it. Let them eat the pizza and beer. If they're not willing to do it, we're not willing to help anymore. You know? Do you remember doing that? We were by
I was standing right there, and I was like, man,
this is ridiculous. I'm tired of being their damn cheerleader. Stay fat. Like, that's not my problem. Right. Then we pulled it back, and thought a couple days, and then we came back to, okay, wait a minute. This is health and wellness, and like you said, and
kind of deconstructing where they are right now too, a little bit, thinking about where they are, what they're thinking, and then in getting back to it, coming up with these other ideas on how to nudge them forward, right? Right. So I came up with a couple things that banter these off with me, and Ben, feel free, and Dr. James Choo, unpopular truths. Oh, all right.
Egg yolks aren't bad for you; they're amazing for your overall health. Carbs aren't bad for you. They're incredible for fueling your workouts. You don't have to be anti-carb or anti-fat. You can enjoy both in moderation.
Where are you getting this?
From another fitness guy. That I really battled with him a little on social media, but I really like some of the stuff he goes out. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And I think it all holds true. And it's just not like a goofy influencer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did my homework on this guy, and he's been to Louis Simmons and has done this stuff.
He's a sensible guy.
Yeah. And it's sensible. It almost correlates with how we think.
Okay.
And I always get this one, and you get this all the time, Dr. James Choo. You've seen this, and guys come in here and girls come here, and a lot of guys, I don't want to lift heavy weights, man. I don't want to get big.
The guys say that.
Yeah. Okay. I got you, Lou Ferrigno. I got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's not walk by the weights today, because I don't want to get you big in this 45-minute session. First time you're going to get big. And I thought I was by myself on that, and then watching and listening. I want to lift weights, but I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. Looking like a bodybuilder is hard. It takes obscene amount of effort and dedication, both in and out of the gym for years.
Yeah.
Lifting weights 3 times a week isn't going to make you look like a bodybuilder.
No, it's just going to get you strong.
And all my business guys are 1 day a week guys, 2 day a week guys, and 3 day a week guys.
So you're hearing that from some of those guys.
Yeah, like, man, and I'm talking about the little guys. I'm getting bulky. I'm like, well, what's your definition of bulk?
Yeah.
Like Dorian Yates at 310 pounds.
Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, Ronnie Coleman, the god of bodybuilding.
Yeah,
that's bulk.
Yeah. It's so funny that's actually a comment from some people. But you agree with some of these statements that this guy is making.
I love him. He talks about the powders and the supplements, and he goes back to eat your vegetables.
Okay.
And then...
so he's not big on supplements?
Yeah, well, he is, but not, he thinks more it's a money game. If you're getting your food in, I mean, even our guy wasn't big on supplements.
Right.
He wasn't even big on a lot of the... I do love this statement he made, because I agree with it. If you notice, you've never seen me in a lot of recovery stuff.
Right. That was really interesting. Pavel was talking about that.
Dude, he was right on point.
Yeah, he was really. He even said that, I'm not like a recovery guru, but I know enough.
I know enough.
But
what did I always say when I'm in here with all these guys? I never want to get dependent on something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
So that was a very interesting statement, I thought. So Pavel,
and he thought the body needed to heal properly on its own a lot.
Yeah,
he wasn't,
and he was into 9 hours of sleep. Remember,
he was into 9 hours of sleep and eating meat.
Yeah,
and
vegetables because he had to. He didn't really like vegetables.
That's right.
He ate them because he said, "Look, you got to eat it."
Hey, you got to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That was. I thought that was a really interesting.
He didn't want to speed up the recovery process.
And really what he was.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? When you didn't want to speed up the recovery process, so it makes a parallel statement of you can't speed up weight loss. You can't speed up strength.
You know what he was saying too, because he said those quick, fast gains in strength, you lose it fast.
That's right.
That's what he was saying. He was saying, so a lot of the strength gains is slow over time.
Right.
the faster you gain it, the faster you can lose it.
That's right.
That was his point. And he also, that was something that he talked about, was one of the things that the Soviets were big on was cold. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of cold in certain places in the Soviet Union or Russia. And then he talked about other modalities for recovery, but in particular, Pavel was saying, if you don't have the basics in line, right? He was saying the nutrition, sleep, all of those things first and foremost. Don't worry about this other goofy cold and this and that. Even though he said it works, he said saunas are good. He's like, but you got to get those things done. And he said, you kind of become dependent on those things. It's like a crutch. And so he's like, I just, I'm not big on it. You can do it here every once in a while, like here and there, but like, don't be like fully dependent on that. Because
I felt like I was really listening to myself.
Yeah,
on a lot of his. But, I studied all those journals all the way through and, have stacks of them at the house.
So the parallels, like you're saying, is perfect. Like,
you can't lose weight. The faster you lose it, you're going to gain it twice as fast.
Yo-yo back, right?
It's the same, but the recovery thing was amazing. I was spot on with that. I was like, because if you're sore, you're supposed to feel sore.
Right.
And then you adapt to something else the next day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know
the adaptation phase that he was talking about, the strength phase, is parallel to food. It's parallel to the diet. It's taking it slow.
Yeah.
Watching the gains, but the gains won't come quick.
He was talking about those other ways of gaining strength. And I guess one of the ones that he maybe used the most was going at that 70% mark.
Yeah.
Remember hearing that?
Yeah.
That's something that you do
I've
all
done
the time.
I mean, I've done it my whole life.
Yeah.
And
70% of your max, and you're just kind of sticking with it.
Right.
And then over a long
not get
period
too
of time.
sore. I don't want to train to get sore, because I want what we call in the business, what I'm doing is adaptation phase, where we don't want to break the muscle down where the athlete can't train for 2 or 3 days.
Right.
We want to. That's where he goes, just like we talk about, you and I and the Godfather of Fitness. The reason we came up with this was Jack LaLanne.
Yeah.
I train 6-7 days a week.
Yeah.
So the thing that I was wanting to go to with that is the docs and the business guys. You still got to train more.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
If you're getting stuck at the 184s and the 194s, do more.
Yeah. And that was the other thing that we noticed too, is that they're not in here more or doing more on their own.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They've gotten comfortable into this.
They made their big changes by cutting their calories.
Yeah.
That's what I found, and that's why it's been nice to take 3 weeks to get a whole bunch of information from them all. To go, hey, the biggest thing is they're cutting back, but are they doing more in a starvation mode?
Right.
Which you're not going to starve when my guys have 25 to 33% body fat on them.
Sure.
You're not starving.
You're just feeling hungry.
You're feeling hungry, and that's okay. Yeah. So the last one, where he talks about the only way to lose fat is to be in calorie deficit. If you want to optimize fat loss, you also need to emphasize protein, get quality sleep, hydrate well, strength train, focus on high-quality, nutrient-rich foods. Calories matter, but they aren't all that matter.
Mm-hmm. I think it pretty much sums up what we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that that was on point.
We have not fully gone to the David Goggins side of things then. We do care.
But we were there for a minute. We were there for a minute because I'm going to get mine. Screw them. Let them stay fat. I'm tired of spoon feeding them and waking up. First thing I do sitting on the toilet is giving them motivational texts. The last thing before I go to bed, more motivational texts. I'm like, come on, guys. I haven't seen you today, but I'm giving you motivational texts. I hope you're doing something.
That I was definitely feeling that way too. But hey, we're back at it, and we're going to continue on, though.
Yeah, no, I think this was perfect. I do think that I just have to be a hard ass with these guys. With everybody else, it's like I think I patted them on the back enough.
Yeah.
The last 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, hey, you could do it.
Yeah.
But we could do more.
Yeah.
You could see more.
Not only can you do more, you need to do more.
You need to do more
for their overall well-being. I mean, really. Man, this has been a fun pre-Christmas talk.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we put it together. I know we were struggling to get on the same page with it, and then it always comes together. You know, we took time yesterday to talk, and then one day last week to just go over things, and then really find, you know, I think at the maturation phase of watching doctors, you know, go on a couple trips. One's on a ski trip. One went to Miami. One went to Vegas.
Yeah.
And they came back, and their weight was still okay, and they're like, that's a win for them. So that is it's a good sign.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the road.
No.
I mean, we need to see these guys in the 170s. That's our next push.
Oh, for sure.
For the two docs that are lookalikes.
Twin brothers.
They're twin brothers. They look so much alike. Nobody can get the names right in here.
That's awesome.
They're twins. It's like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I hope they're listening to this.
Oh, I wanted one on, but he was coming back from a ski trip. Shocker. Chewy, man, it's been a blessing, and let's do January, and let's do that once a month thing where we wrap up. Even the way we were talking about the Milo guy, I think we have roundtable discussions of where we are, what we're doing, and stay on the health and fitness road, but like strong. You know, I've never seen you come in this wood gym in all these years and just do cardio, and you're one of the leanest guys in the gym, and you're always on the platform moving weight.
Yeah. Well, that's with your guidance. I will say this. So Charlie we were just talking about this prior to being on air here, but Charlie has like the most interesting seasons of his just daily life, right? So like during the year, he has different athletes that come in, whether it's high school athletes. So there's always a season to a high school athlete, depending on whether it's football or baseball, soccer, volleyball, you name it. That's always a part of the day-to-day of training, seeing these kids come in during the summer, ramping it up, they kind of tail off during the seasons, all that kind of stuff. But then you've got your professional athletes that come in here. You know, they're hot in here during the summertime, and they go off to their camps, and then they come back after the postseason for a short amount of time. But right now was part of Charlie's training season is the combine, right? Combine time. So Charlie will get these guys from all over the country that come over here for various combine events, and all these relationships he's had for many, many years. He's always getting busier, and it's testament to how well he's done this. And you know, I'm sure in the training game, it's something to be envious over, right? Because over the years that he's done this time and time again. But with all the busy seasons that he's got right now, and of course these guys, baseball guys that are coming in right before spring season, you know, all this kind of stuff. It's really interesting if you're ever around it. But he is more excited about this damn weight loss thing with his two twin doctors
battling. They're battling. They're like heavyweight fighters.
That I've ever seen him.
We're going to have a pose down. Chewy and I are going to stand between them.
Than he is when, you know, all this other hoopla is going on, and he's trying to get athletes ready to run their fast 40s and lift hard, and, you know, for trying to, you know, inch their way up, like rounds for drafts and all this kind of stuff. He's more concerned about his chubby doctors.
Well, yeah, the chubby bubbies. them losing their weight loss makes it's because it's harder to do that at their age than to take 2/10 off somebody's 40 time.
Yeah.
And they, you know, improve their stock like a Leonard Fournette from the 12th overall pick to the 4th just because he ran a 40 at 240 pounds at 4.5. Loved it.
Yeah.
But I could do that with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
The challenge of even, you know, the doctors getting mad and yelling at you in the office. And, you know, the one that looks like Danny DeVito was telling me that.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Hey, we're not even drinking on this set right now, but it's the holidays. You never know. That is true. But he was talking about sugar busters and insulin levels. He was the one that said popcorn and potatoes make them fat. And carrots
I love
made
that.
him fat.
And I love him. Too.
Oh, God. The chubby bubbies. Yeah. I love looking. I mean, I think 2020, we could give him the 170s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and
sure.
and maybe, and just maybe we do that contract that you were so impressed with
yeah.
the art.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, maybe I put it in writing where they have more accountability than just coming through the wood gym for camaraderie and community.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like they slip like that, and it's like,
they're here to hang
it's
out.
their cheers.
Yeah.
It's to hang out instead of going, wait a minute, I got to pay this guy $1,000 by the end of, say, February if I don't make it to 178.
Yeah.
I say we write that up today. We'll have we'll have Chad Speck, our sports agent, who's an attorney, also get those papers going for the chubby bubbies.
Well,
all right.
Whatever it takes.
I love you, Wang, and we'll get back on it next month.
Yeah. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
You guys, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
All right.